Well, okay, that failed attempt definitely didn't happen. Let's go try that again real quick. I'm gonna grab some more reviver seeds this time, I think. And then I'll continue my story in a hot second here. That's a great idea there. Here, give me like 2 of those, mayhap. And then let me set up my team again. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Cape of Wonders. And I'm just gonna immediately wand that Barboach. I was like, Barboach, that seems pretty silly. The wanted Barboach that you're looking for. I seem to stand corrected. Let's bring Dragonite. Let's bring some dragon types here. How about? And then give an item here. I'll take this. You take this. There we go. Let's go. How about? Anyway, as I was saying, after doing a decent bit of work on the Mercury truck, we're at the ready to take it to some shows here. Better get to bed, have a good rest of the stream. I do appreciate you stopping by and hanging out, Mythic. You might be interested to see the piece that I'm about to pull out here really quickly. The thing that I had commissioned because my dad's birthday is coming up, and because we can actually take it to some more shows now. After painting a couple of those Hot Wheels cars to look like my dad's truck looks, I got this piece commissioned by this art studio, this just at-home art studio that does these designs where they do like these trails behind a little figure vehicle that's basically glued onto the canvas. I'd see them do it with Hot Wheels cars when they were showing off their art at the university a little while back during an art exhibition. So I got one commissioned for that truck, and this is what it looks like with one of those Hot Wheels that is painted to look like his truck. And so this is just sitting in like a bag next to my desk right now, but this is what I plan to give my dad for his birthday towards the end of the month, and I'm hoping that he'll really like it because I think that's really cool and that turned out pretty neat. So I just have this neat piece sitting here now. So yeah, and then on the back here it says like 49 Mercury M47 since that's what the thing where Bob be. It has a little thing where, whoops, where it can be hung. Let's not bash it on things. So up to him if he wants to hang it up somewhere or what. When we go to this car show at the end of the month, we'll probably take that along with us and put it in the cab or something like that, or maybe stand it up on the engine. But yeah, absolutely. It'd be great to take to shows with the truck, and people can see this art piece that's specifically of that truck. I'm glad that you kind of wasted your turn on Tail Whip. That is handy. So anyway, that's the cool thing with that. Oh my god. No, it's fine. Okay, we're good. But yeah, let's see here. And yeah, I won't underestimate the Barboach then. But yeah, that's cool as fuck. Or as you from 6 years ago would say, fucking rad. Yeah, 6 years ago. Who knows what was fucking rad 6 years ago? Was it the Octopath Traveler Cyrus voice for Pancham? Was it the tree? The harmony scarves? Something was fucking rad, but we may never know what it was. It could be anything. Wow, was that what killed? The 5 at the end? Or even if it kills, will they just live until the travel goes through? Or how does that work, I wonder? But yeah, your dad's party truck with his 79 Ford is that he, or party truck, should I say like party trick with his 49 Ford, is I made a table and umbrella that attached to the trailer hitch. That's pretty cool. So I sit on the flatbed with her table and umbrella at shows. That sounds pretty fun there. I really wanted to get my, oh gosh dang it, my truck at the running for Fragapalooza coming up here so I can tent out in the back. That's one of my cool gimmicks with that truck, is that I just tent out in the back and sleep there overnight. Okay, let's see here. But, I don't know if I'll be able to this year because my truck's not been doing super great. But I'll get into that stuff shortly here. Might well have been you responding to someone else in chat. Yeah, might well have been. Here, what if we just, like, do this? And then we kind of position ourselves. Okay, you want to deal with that first, maybe? That'd be good. trying to have a picture of it at some point, but your parents are always sitting there, can never get a shot without their face in it. That's fair. Yeah, whenever I'm showing these vehicles, I try to do it like where it's just the vehicle on its own or just me. Is what I usually try to do. Barbo suddenly whips out Blizzard. Imagine. Can't believe it used Fissure and landed before. Here, we can activate an alliance. And just do Force Palm. Sure, Dragon Tail. And then I can't use Thunder Punch because it's groundwater. I guess I have to use Wrap. I didn't really think that through when it came to selecting Dragonite to come in the party. Oh my god. We lived. Wait. If we do this. Okay, Wrap is doing decent damage here. Hold on. Okay, don't take care of their Mythic. Yeah, there do be stuff going on there. I'm still waiting to upload like the first video on my Fargo until after I sort out its current issues, which it's still just one thing after another, and it's still not roadworthy. So the simple replace the carburetor video is actually gonna be a whole lot more things, most likely. That's what it's seeming like. Holy crap, this is literally the toughest Barboach in history. My goodness gracious. No, I lost, and I feel slimy all over. Client Sharpedo will be thrilled. Okay. Look how happy Sharpedo is. Connected. Anamark and Sharpedo have been connected. All right, that's the first job of 5 here. This should have spread even further. What the heck is that left one? Oh, that's that Gen 6 Dragon type. I thought that was like the backside of a Zoroark. That's what I thought for a second there. There, more points. I do not want to escape from the dungeon, as a matter of fact. I wish I had something ranged here. Explosion gonna happen due to the dampen ability. Gosh dang it, accuracy in this game. Galgate. That Pokemon that I honestly forgot existed in the Generation 6 playthrough. The Generation 6 playthrough, the Pokemon X and Y playthrough. No, it's fine. You're safe there. I'm fairly certain here. I mean, I was playing on a randomizer with that, so it's not like... Did we ever see it? I think I saw like an art of it or something somewhere, and I got reminded of it. I don't think we ever actually encountered one in the randomizer playthrough. I don't think. I don't remember. Even though that was literally just 1 week ago. But yeah, Pokemon you never used but thought it was cool because it's Poison Dragon. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Uh-oh. I want to not deal with it. Hello, Jake Frost Chill. Yeah, it absolutely is. It definitely do be a good time. Uh-oh. Whoa, Spores busted in this game. Holy crap. Hold on. Let me nom real quick. Here. Whoa, I guess I don't need to help you out. Oh, this is the stairs room. Nice. Okay. There we go. I haven't really picked up that many emeralds here. Anyway, I wanted to talk more about the other cool thing with the truck here. Reach the floor where Vanillite is waiting. So, another thing that we wanted to... Whoa. Whoa! Another thing that we wanted to get done for this truck before some shows is to get a sign made. I mean, both for my truck and for my dad's truck, both for the Fargo and the Mercury. So that you can set it up like in front of the vehicle at shows and it'll show like the stats and stuff with it and like a little summarized version of the story behind it and stuff like that if we're not there, or if people just want to read about it and not chat. So we've been working on getting a sign put together. Ooh. Let's just give it to Salamence, because I'll probably be as Salamence the most here. There we go. Ever think about how Parasect is basically 6 times weak to fire because it's bug grass and it's dry skin? I can't actually say I've ever thought of that, but wow. That is pretty nasty, isn't it? My goodness gracious. Seems to be someone ahead. Oh, there was a thing on this floor? Oops. It's good that this game gives you reminders, or else I would have just gone there immediately. Thank goodness for this game doing that. This is fine. Anyway, so for getting that sign put together, my parents were just thinking about doing something basic at first, just printing out something basic just to have, and then could do something fancier later. So my dad just put together, gosh dang it, how did I miss someone that's paralyzed twice? I swear, this game. Just nom. My goodness. So my dad just put that together on like a Word document since like that's what he'd be familiar with doing. Okay. Uh-oh. Joke's on you. You're asleep now. Nom. He got the story put together and he put like a couple pictures on this document. And my mom had asked me if I could just find a way to print this multiple page document as like a single big sheet. And I was like, well, if that's what you want me to do, I can... That looks like it must be a dead end then. And they're getting kind of stuck. If that's what you want me to do, I can use my graphic design stuff that I've taught myself from the years of this channel to make something a little bit cooler. Oh my god. It's fine. Okay, Dragonite time. So where are you going, Lantern? Don't you dare. So I put I'm not like amazing graphic designer or anything like that, but I can get some basic stuff done. This game's actually checks are almost Earthbound levels of ridiculous. I don't know how crazy they are in Earthbound, but that's very much what it feels like. So I put my skills to work there, and what I threw together is, if I just open it as a thingamabob here, is something like this. If I go turn on display capture again here, this. So this was the story that my dad put together of this truck, and I put it here in like the smaller text, then the stats and stuff that he had up here. It's a good thing that I was also there to double check this because there was a couple typos. He called it an Mercury M47 or M47, F47, even though it literally says M47 here, its actual model. I mean, you can see in photos it's saying, well, it's in low quality here, but it says M47 like right on that part here, right here where it blocks it. He wrote F47 here. So I was looking at some signs that were made at this show that I went to in Texas, along with that St. Jam Nerd when I was down there. And I was getting inspiration from some different things. I saw some where it's like, oh, here's like a PNG on the top by some information. Here's like a transparent image of the thingamabob behind. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I wanna do that. So here's like a PNG of it with like my dad in it and Happy and stuff. And like the image is flipped. So, you know, it's not the right side that the steering wheel is on. Here's one of it in front of the frozen lake this past year because this was December 31st, this photo was taken, and it was really weird this year. Snow only stayed on the ground as of the new year. So even though the lake was completely frozen, there was no snow on the ground, and we could actually drive this, because we would normally never drive that if there's snow on the ground. And then this was last year's Canada Day parade. You can see me in the back there, wearing sunglasses and my hat. My dad driving there, where the flag is blocking him. There are a couple different options that I did here. The other background, I think the one that we're gonna go with for this back photo is one that shows it in front of the lake, like while the water's melted, but it has a sign on the side about like the anniversary of the village. So I'm showing this one instead to like not dox where the lake cabin is. This is what I'm doing here. So yeah, and this isn't even like the final version. I did like change some things, like put a space between this and some little things like that. And if anyone wants to like pause and read any of the story of that, then they can do so. But this is the thingamabob that I slapped together. So we're gonna try and get that printed at my university campus because they offer a service for printing stuff out for not that bad of prices actually. So gonna get that put on like a poster board kind of thing, and then we can set that up in front of the vehicle at shows like the one later this month. So that should be neat. Welcome, thanks for coming. Let's go talk in the back. So you want some of the hard stuff? Vanilla introduced his friends to Dragonite and had a great time. So, you guys cops. That was fun, play with me again. Did you think it was gonna be a monster house? I kinda did at first when I saw all those items. Let's dance together next time, Jin. May look like I have a cold, but I don't. Please don't worry. Have I encountered a single monster house in this playthrough? Like, what's going on? But I know that joke you make sometimes where you say, remember when insert name here hit something? That comes from an Earthbound video. Oh, interesting. I've been a little bit all over the place lately, is how things have been here. So there's that good news for my dad's truck where we're getting some cool things made. I did try to get that sign printed the last time I was on campus, and they printed the wrong thing. They printed it not mounted on the thing that it was supposed to be mounted on, so we're gonna have to like get that remade next week. But hey, it'll still be in time for the show at the end of the month, so hopefully there'll be some cool photos with that truck and both this cool art piece of it and that sign. You are probably gonna need it the most, I think. Whoops, I should have grabbed these first. I'm a little bit dumb. So there's that, but my truck, however, things have not been as great with. So, I don't remember what the last update with my truck was when I was streaming this, because this was a few weeks ago. So, just last time on Dragon Ball Z, generally from the top, I've been dealing with issues with the carburetor for a good while now, which is the thing that injects fuel into the engine. It cracked, it was leaking fuel. It took 9 months before I finally got that thing sorted out. Arrived at the floor where Seal is, bring Lantern to Seal's side, then I can get rid of Lantern here. It took 9 months and a lot of work before I finally got that carburetor fixed. So, okay, Thunder Punch, nice. And the moment that was sorted out, and I was like, the carburetor isn't leaking fuel anymore, that's amazing! The fuel pump started leaking fuel. Luckily, though, the fuel pump is not anywhere near as expensive a replacement as the carburetor. A new fuel pump cost me like 50 bucks on that thing. And it's a very simple system for a fuel pump. It's not an electric fuel pump like modern fuel pumps would be. I mean, I'm sure I could get like an electric fuel pump put in there if I really wanted. It is literally just like a mechanical lever pump that is operated by the crankshaft, of the engine. So as the engine is running and this crankshaft in it is spinning round and round, one of the notches protrudes out a little bit, so it spins around, like protruding out. And every time it goes past, it hits this lever on the fuel pump that gets it to pump fuel. And it's like, wow, different times, huh? Different times for sure. Where is this seal at? I should have been paying more attention on the preview. And man, was that the biggest pain in the butt to install. The instructions recommended, so it mounts to the side of the engine, the fuel pump. The instructions recommended basically taking off one of the wheel fenders and basically like a wheel to be able to get at it from the side, because it's basically behind one of the wheels. It's basically behind the passenger's wheel. And my dad and I were like, you know, we probably don't need to do that. We can get at it from underneath. It's fine. So we jacked it up, slid under the truck, took off the old one, no problemo. My God, trying to get the new one in there. When you're upside down with this little fuel pump in relative dark, like we had a light down there, a trouble light. But as you're pushing it in there and you can't see where the holes are anymore, and you have like a little thin gasket on the other side that keeps sliding out of place, and you're trying to find the holes with these bolts, and it's just like the most miserable thing. Like my dad was convinced for a little bit that it just... Special attacks. Okay, I won't do a special attack. My dad was convinced that it wasn't the right fuel pump for a little while because it just wasn't going in there. And after about 2 hours of trying, finally it got in there. And we were like, oh my God, it works. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, but I fly. You're scary. We got on there. Things were hype. It was amazing. And we tested it out, and it wasn't leaking fuel. And I was like, whoa, finally, no fuel leaks. It's sorted, it's solved. Maybe I can actually take it to Fragapalooza and put a tent in the back, like I did last year. Uh-oh. Screw it. I was just a little bit sketched out with one of my teammates potentially taking themselves out. So, my dad was heading out of town to go, like, stop in, check in with my grandparents, his parents. Help them with anything they need. And I was like, well, I now have my own vehicle here since this was at my cousin's place that we elected to do this at, but with the blistering heat here, and it would be a lot cooler in a garage. So before putting the fuel pump in the previous day, I drove it over to my cousin's place, parked it in the garage. So I was there, and I was like, well, I still gotta go to my Oma's place and water the plants. My dad's heading out of town, and I just have my own vehicle that I can take there now. So I should do a little bit of a test drive and make sure that it works here. So I drove it to my Oma's place. I put it in her garage so it wouldn't like become so blistering hot with the insane record-breaking heat here. And it got me there just fine. I wasn't getting any issues. And then I started driving home, and like it started up beautifully. There was no issues with starting it up. It seemed like it was running really well. And then right as I was going through an intersection, it died. It just completely died on me. So hold on, let's scroll to where that was in the in the Discord here where I was posting that. So yeah, there was the tow truck. It just died. It was just done for. So my truck doesn't work right now, like at all. it was working great for about 15 minutes worth of driving. It got me to my almost place. It was starting to take me home, and then it's just dead. No more. I've owned this truck for 2 years now. Like, I've been the registered owner for 2 years. And in that time, I've had this truck towed 3 times. This is the 3rd time I've had to have it towed. So, yeah, I wasn't super impressed about that. Hello, Snow Penguin. Good evening. And by Lantern's introduction... Whoa, a whole bunch of other water critters. The Anarmonic and Dugong have been connected. Whoa, connection is spread even further. I'm in this stage of the stream where it's early on, there's filler stuff happening, I'm just telling stories about stuff going on that I'm sure I've told during other streaming streams, so this might be a repeat of stuff heard before, but whoa. But it's new to this stream here. Whoa, big ears, okay. Here, you can have it too. Your Smash tour on the website. Yeah, that's a new update here too. I almost panicked when I didn't see Lantern there. That was put up yesterday. I was working out the details with Fragstaff while I was watering plants at my Oma's place. Let's see here. And we decided on some different times than was initially planned. I'll get back to like my truck story in a hot second here. But with the frag stuff, the main problem with doing the doubles on Friday last year, where are tournaments? Oh, here we go, tournaments. So there's an Overwatch tournament, there's Counter-Strike tournament, and then there's like my 3 Smash Bros tournaments. We did decide to have it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as opposed to Thursday and then both on Saturday. Because the problem last year is that, I'm just now realizing, this is like the Smash 4 background that they're using for this, isn't it? It's kind of funny. Anyway, the problem was doubles started 1 hour before Overwatch did, like that tournament. And the moment Overwatch started, an hour into my tournaments, everyone just left because everyone was also playing in Overwatch. So I just lost like all my players and I had to make a call and announce to the venue, never mind, we're gonna do the rest of doubles tomorrow before the single squad strike. But we were looking at the tournament schedule and it seems like the Overwatch tournament on Friday only starts at like 5 p.m. Which means if this takes a few hours, there actually is time on Friday to do it before Overwatch even starts and there's no conflict. So it's like, okay, we can do 3 different days then. That could be pretty nice. And their other problem with doing both of these on Saturday was they would probably want to use the stage for the Counter-Strike finals and the Overwatch finals later in the day. So if we do it like this, then we can just do like the squad strike on Saturday before the finals of these even happen. And it sounds like I can just use the stage for all 3. So like this will be like the stage completely, this can be the stage completely. And 1v1's doing 1 set at a time, that'd probably be really slow, so maybe I'd have people playing at like my setup or like on the side, the stage 2. Like I think things are pretty good with the current schedule, the current setup. And get people either playing at my computer, which I mean might work, might not work if I'm commentating from there, or if I just have the stage to be able to do whatever I want with that, I can just set up like a monitor or something here on the side. So there can be people sitting here with chairs and looking on the big screen, playing there on the big screen, and that's what could be connected to my thingamabob. And then I could just set up like on the side here, a place for people to play. So these are apparently sponsor booths, so this isn't something that I can use. But what's to stop me from just setting up monitors here and having people play here? Hopefully this isn't a lane that people will be walking through like all that frequently. Hopefully I wouldn't block people like I did here last year. But I think if I just put like a monitor or 2 here and let people play on that and set up like a few like plastic chairs or something, I think that would work out just fine. So I think I'm sorted. I think I'm good. So yeah, that's Fragapalooza Smash stuff that's pretty much figured out now. No Garfield Kart tournament at Fragapalooza, unfortunately so. I did post in my schedule the tentative times. Like, it's not listed on the Fragapalooza website just in case it changes. I posted it in like my Discord server, just like it could be subject to change, but hey, this is it for now. And most likely it's not gonna change, but there's a chance that it will. I just put it in like upcoming playthroughs here. So currently the plan for free-for-all is just like right after the opening ceremonies, then doubles Friday at 1 p.m. and then singles Saturday at 2 p.m. It was gonna be Saturday at 1 p.m. as well, but like I was chatting with the president of Frag and he was saying maybe 2 p.m. might be a better start time because people are probably gonna be gaming really late on Friday and then there's like some more sleep-in time and then they're at the ready and it's like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, that's a setup with that. So Frag stuff is pretty sorted here now. Do be the case. So Yeah, let's go back this way. And who knows, maybe I'll stream a little bit of this at Fragapalooza. Because even though I do intend on beating this game tonight, it could be fun just to do like a single stream of like, hey, let's just do a couple missions there just to showcase the venue. We're at the floor where Carvana is. Whoa, that's convenient. Just do like some generic missions or something like that. Yeah, you found the Carvana you were looking for. Just for the sake of having like a couple parts of this series that are at the frag venue, maybe. If I have time for that, I might do that. Whoops, I'm pulling on cables while trying to put up my legs on my other computer. Carvana connected. Also, is the font there, like the PMD2 font? I might have mentioned that again. I might have mentioned that before, like months ago, which is now realizing it again. That's the case. Yeah, a whole bunch of points. At least one expedition request beyond this point. So anyway, the other stuff with the truck here. So I was broken down and I was trying really hard to get it working again. I was letting it cool down and then I figured I'd try again because sometimes like that can be an issue. Like if the engine gets flooded in my attempts to start it, I need to let it sit for a little while and then try and start it again and it works a little bit better. This time though, I would let it sit and I would try to start it and it sounded like there was something wrong with the battery. Like it was really struggling to turn over. Usually the fan would be turning like choo 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 choo, but this time it was kind of like choo 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 choo. Like it sounded like the battery was nearly dead, so I was kind of confused about that and like what the heck is going on here. So I thought it was an issue with the battery, but I wasn't entirely certain here. I can make a political joke with you saying I was talking to the president, but the joke ain't joking. Yeah, with that earlier today. Uh-oh. I'd rather use one of these than a reviver seed, so like, here. Let's then do this. Oh, I guess I could have just done that from the get-go in that case. Barrage guard, and that might not matter here all that much. Yeah, and hello, Emerald Finder. I'm doing pretty all right. Just telling stories of some truck troubles recently. So I was broken down at this intersection, and I figured it was a battery issue. I might use an elixir here in a hot second. And there was this guy that pulled over, like, initially not to help me. He mostly just wanted to see the truck, but then it kind of evolved into he wants to try and help me out now. I'm not going to use Thunderfang on you, but I'm still just going to use one of these. I have lots anyway. Because it turned out this guy that pulled over drives a 1942 International truck. So he has an old truck as well. And he saw mine and he just wanted to like pull over and see it and like help out if he could. And he thought that might be a battery issue as well. So he was like, oh, well, we can try boosting it. And I was like, well, maybe training switch. Oh, interesting. Boost grow faster. Oh, God. No. I'm a little bit sketched out about boosting it because that's a 6-volt battery. That was when vehicles were 6 volt for their systems. Nowadays, everything is 12 volt. I think I Googled once when 12 volt became the standard, and I think it was like 1958 or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I might be getting that no, it was 55, I think, is what Google told me at one point. I don't know what I'm getting mixed up with 1958. Something else. So, not all that long later, but vehicle batteries were 6 volt for a long time, so it's a lot lower voltage. And if you boost that with a 12 volt, that's a lot of oomph that the vehicle is not designed to handle. But we were like, oh, maybe we'll try it and just like have every light on that we can possibly have on, just to draw some of that extra oomph that the 12 volt is giving the 6 volt. But I didn't have booster cables in the truck there because I never thought I'd have to boost that truck, and I figured if there was a battery issue, I probably wouldn't want to boost it anyway because of the whole 6 volt, 12 volt thing. But he lived right nearby, so we hopped in his car and went over to his place to get some booster cables and a spare 12 volt battery that he had. But yeah, and he was definitely a nice guy there, for sure. So yeah, we drove to his place. Whoa, okay, that's just the hail damage. It's funny because that whole assassination thing happened, and then one I assume YouTuber you follow was like, dude, I swear I didn't do it. Like half an hour after the news dropped, people suspecting him. To go on, I would love to go on here. And I hopped in his car, and it looked exactly like my car. Reached the final floor. Okay, that's interesting. That tells you it's the final floor. Is this where my last job is then? It looked exactly like my car, so I said, is this a Pontiac vibe? And he said, no, it's a Toyota Matrix, which is the exact same as a Pontiac Vibe, but with a different name. Okay, so make it to the last floor is all that is there. So I was talking about how, hey, I have basically the same vehicle. And we started chatting about that vehicle a whole bunch and how much we both love our cars. Because they're these tiny little things, but they're a hatchback. There's so much space. The seats fold down all the way flat, so there's lots of space to store things. They're like the most fuel efficient vehicle ever. Like, it's insane. Please just die. Oh my god, you didn't just die. I think toughness saved me there. Uh-oh, the hail's gonna kill. The hail's gonna kill, I think. But yeah, Crystal Cave, time to jam here. I thought I could just kill in one shot. Counter is scary, isn't it? Holy crap. But yeah, so we were chatting about that a little bit. And, as we were driving to his place, and he was asking, like, what it is that I do. And I said, like, oh, I just graduated, but I still work at the university nearby here. And he was like, oh, that's interesting. I actually live right by the university farm. I was like, oh, that's neat. The university farm is how I found out about Haskaps, which is one of my current plant crazes. He was like, Haskaps? No way, I love growing Haskaps. He was like, you've got to just be a younger version of me, is what he was saying. And we got to his place, and he was showing me his 1942 International. It's a rat rod, so it's like a little mishmash of all sorts of different things in there. So it's pretty far from original. It's just make it to the last floor for that job. I don't need to do anything here, right? Like, he can't drive it right now because he has a flat tire, is the case. So he's working on getting that fixed, and then he'll be able to drive it again. So you do decide to get married. You're clearly a great match. Yeah, it didn't quite go there. I was gonna save state here just in case I mess up in some way. Reach the stairs. Yeah, I'd love to finish the expedition, and exit the dungeon. Or go finish the expedition on the final floor. Okay, so that is what I had to do. So we grabbed the battery that he had and some booster cables, and we went to my truck, and we rigged that up, and it was a little bit sketchy trying to boost my battery off of that, and there were some sparks, and we were like, huh, let's maybe not try that. How about we just take out my battery completely and just put in his battery that, like, he brought along? Like, it's not like he was taking out of his vehicle. It was just an extra battery, an extra 12-volt battery that he had on the floor of his garage. And again, that's more oomph than the truck would ever be used to. So I was trying to start it up, and I swear, like, that's the fastest I've ever heard that fan spin on that truck in my life. Again, we had all the lights on to drain a little bit of that oomph where we could. But man, if the normal sound of the fan turning when I'm trying to turn it over, it's like choo 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 choo. With the 12-volt battery, it was like like this massive fan spinning in the front. It was like, holy crap. So like, I could, like, if it would run with that, I could have absolutely driven it home with that 12-volt battery. But I just wouldn't want to keep a 12-volt battery in there long-term because it's not what the vehicle was designed for. I would have to swap out parts that would be a little bit more used to 12-volt, or find some other ways to drain some of that extra oomph while it's running. But it was interesting hearing it go that fast there, but it still wasn't starting. It was still really, really struggling there, and it wouldn't start up. So it was like, okay, the battery is not the issue then. I mean, there might still be issues with my battery. My battery might still be kind of screwed because it was still being kind of weird and not turning over all that fast. But it's not the reason why it's not running. At least we found out. USA election somehow pulled Shyamalan plot twist. Good luck with your next presidency. Is the epilogue after the Mew revelation? Yes, indeed it is. And yeah, the whole situation in the States there, it's certainly something here. So, yeah, determined that it wasn't that. So then we took the air cleaner, the oil bath it is, off of the carburetor, because the oil was used to clean the air back when. And heading back to Lively Town. So we took that off, and he put his hand on the top of my carburetor, where, like, the air comes in and gets to the engine. So he was forming the choke, making less air go in, so that there's more suction for the fuel to get in. And he said, try starting it again. And I tried starting it again with that 12-volt battery and the super speed, and it actually started to fire up. Like, it wouldn't keep on going, because, like, he couldn't leave his hand there and he would take it off. I mean, I could have always used, like, my choke and left the choke out a whole bunch and maybe gotten it to fire up that way, but it didn't sound, like, super reliable. It was just getting in a smidge of fuel, and it was starting to start up, and then it would peter out. So, it was determined that, oh, this is a fuel issue. The engine isn't getting fuel for some reason. So the brand new fuel pump that was installed, either the fuel pump isn't pumping fuel, or there's a whole bunch of crap stuck in like a filter somewhere and it's causing a clog. So maybe I need to change out the filter on my fuel filter. Maybe I need to change out the sediment bowl that's in front of my fuel pump, because maybe that got filled with a whole bunch of crap, because we wanted to clean out the fuel tank last year. We were going to take off the fuel tank and steam clean it, because there's probably a whole lot of crap of rust and corrosion and stuff in there that could be going through the fuel line, but didn't get the chance to because I filled it up with gas one last time for the year, like got a full tank, and that's how I found out that my carburetor was screwed when I parked it in the garage and the garage was smelling like gas. Then it's like, okay, we're obviously not taking the gas tank off now when it's filled to the brim. And with how on and off things have been with this truck, with getting it sort of working, driving it around a little bit, fixing it up, getting it sort of working, so on and so forth, I'm still at half a tank when I filled up last September. But anyway, we did want to take that fuel tank off and properly clean it, so there could be like some sort of crap that's going through and causing a clog or something like that. My battery may or may not be screwed, like as an unrelated separate issue, but for some reason, the engine isn't getting fuel. Don't know why. It's something that I'm going to have to troubleshoot. I'll have to troubleshoot at some point when like my parents are back home, because that's not a solo job. I can't be in the cab and see where the fuel is going. I need someone to be looking under the hood. So yeah, I'll probably be troubleshooting that in the near future. I would have really, really liked to drive that truck to Fragapalooza, throw a whole bunch of stuff in the back, and set up my tent in the back and just sleep back there. But I don't know. I don't know if that's happening. It's just not working at all right now. Maybe it's as easy as just change out the filter and then it works. Maybe. That's the best case scenario. Change out the filter, fully recharge the battery, which we already did, and then it just works, and then things are good. Hopefully. But I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why it was probably working pretty well for about 15 minutes before is because the carburetor that injects fuel into the engine keeps a whole bunch of fuel, like, in it. It's a bowl that fills with fuel. It probably just expended what was in there, and then when I ran out, it died, and then it wasn't getting any new stuff in, is probably what was going on there. So, yeah, and then I was just kind of running on fumes, and then it ran out of gas and died, even though I have half a tank. So, either fuel pump isn't working, or there's a clog, or something else is going on with the fuel. So, yeah, that's what's happening with my truck. So that's a truck date on that. So there's cool, good news for my dad's truck, and there's not so great news with my truck. And at this point, it just feels like it's one thing after another. And like, when the heck am I going to make this thing a vehicle that I can actually rely on? It's certainly not anytime soon, it feels like. But yeah, let's see here. Last time we played Super, didn't play the post game because of the difficulty spike in Fire Island Volcano there. But in the main game. But yeah. And let's see here. It's like 2016 all over again, except at least 2016 was funny as hell. Is it another election between two Alzheimer's patients? Basically. But yeah, corrections between an Alzheimer's patient and a convicted felon. Yeah, the presidential debate was the first time the CIA has allowed a convicted felon to get that close to the president of the United States. But yeah, and then there was the attempted assassination earlier today. And yeah, 2024 has certainly been something, hasn't it? I don't envy the states right now. After Harmonia completed the day's expeditions. So this is where you've been hiding. And Frost. Is there something fascinating you can see from here? It seems you're either down these days. Well, I'm trying really, really hard to get this vehicle to work, and things keep on failing constantly. At least the engine, the over 70-year-old engine, like, continues to work flawlessly, like, all the time. I've never had any issue with that. It's everything else that gives me difficulty. What do you think about Klexos? That and my Fargo. Yes, I rather thought it was that. It's true that none of us expected Klexos to disappear so suddenly. Everyone was shocked. But, you know, Harmonia, I can't help believing that there might be a way for Klexos to come back to us. What? I think the possibility is out there. As long as you have that scarf, Harmonia. Scarf? You and Klexos are still bound together by that scarf. Or, that's what I think anyway. Celebi can use his time-traveling abilities to go back to the past. But there is also a Pokémon in this world who can see both past and future. A Pokémon that can see both the past and the future? His name is Xatu. Xatu lives on the Sand Continent, in a place called the Sand Dune of Spirits. Why not go and chat with him a bit? I guess that's what we better do. I would love to save my game here. Sounds like a plan. I did one mission, that's it, and you're already telling me to chill out?